much we're processing right now. Big work. Thank you for playing full out. You are so amazing. Hmm.
So proud of you. I was loving the shares, loving the energy, the empathy in all the rooms. We're all rock star goddesses.
So I promised to share with you my story of how I ended up separating from my husband without money. having been having always been earning, having always been making money, um, and yet something happened. Something happened. That was a big moment of awakening to how PSD operated in my system, completely under the radar. So before I got married in my 20s, I was good with money. I was playful with money. I was able to, I was job hopping. I went through this period of, since arriving in New York, let me just backtrack that. I arrived in New York by myself from Russia when I was 22. And how I ended up in New York was I came for 2 weeks and then ended up staying for about 20 years. And on that 2 week trip, I had an embodied realization, again, that guidance, that wisdom of intuition that's completely not rational, but that knows a lot more than the rational mind. I had this realization, full-bodied realization. I remember standing in Battery Park City, which is the southernmost part of Manhattan, having this ocean in front of me, this metropolis behind me, and this beautiful nature in the park all around me, and feeling in my body, this is my city. So I was 22, just graduated college in Russia, and I just had that feeling. And so I applied for a job. I applied for a job and had an interview, and it went well. And I had a second interview scheduled for the day I was supposed to leave and go back home. And so I had my ticket in hand. I didn't have a plan B, and I had the interview invitation. And I considered this for a moment, and then I put the ticket back in the drawer. I remember that old wooden drawer at the place I was staying, and I closed it. There was no plan B. I didn't have money. I didn't have support system. I didn't have money to buy the ticket to go back. I didn't even know what it would mean in terms of, was I violating any visa regulations, whatever. I was like, I'm going to go to that second interview. And I went to the second interview. I got the job. I got a place to stay. I didn't have a place to stay, but at the interview, they were like, do you have a place to stay? You're new to the city. I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, our engineer is going to Europe for a few weeks. Can you stay in his Park Avenue apartment and feed his cat? Like, I can do that. So magic, right? Magic, when you're doing things that are completely irrational, things are just unfolding. And then in my 20s, like that job shortly after went belly up. That was an internet company, was the year 1999, 2000. The bubble burst, and I found myself entrepreneuring for the first time. On my first gig, well, I had a lot of gigs, but I'll spare you the details. A lot of things I've tried, but I was starting making some money, and some of my gigs were cash, and I was saving the money, and eventually I invested the money in real estate in Russia. At the time, it was booming, and so the money quadrupled in value in 4 years, and then I used this money to pay for my master's degree at Columbia. It was a lot of money, And I paid off the credit cards that I had put this degree on. That was over $60,000, which I financed exclusively with 0% APR credit card offers. Because at the time, as a still new immigrant, I did not qualify. I wasn't permanent resident. I was on a visa, and I didn't qualify for student loans. So, but I wanted it. Again, my intuition was like, very certain, take it, it's yours. And so $60,000 on 0% APR cards. And then I didn't know what was going to happen with real estate. I didn't know I would have that money, but I was betting on myself. Or maybe it was the fool's journey. I was just like, yes, guide me. Yes, big yes to my desires. And then it worked out that real estate did well. I paid off that debt. I was also the first one, the only one in my graduating class of 250 who opened her private practice in New York before graduating, a year before graduating. I had a professor who like took a liking to me. She supervised me. We set it up together. So that was awesome, right? And also, I wouldn't have done that had I not had this $60,000 debt hanging over my head, right? There's also wisdom in taking these big leaps that stretch us because they actually make us do stuff. Yeah, it wasn't an option. You know, if there is an option to not stretch and put ourselves out there, because I had PSD prison guards galore too, but I didn't have an option not to do it because I was by myself, didn't have a support system. So I had to figure it out. So what happened was I so I started my journey in the professional field. I started making money, and then oh yeah, and that money also paid for the down payment on the house. That's what I wanted to share with you with pride. So good, right? So far, so good. And then I got married. My late 20s, I got married, and something happened. Now looking back, I call this taking a bite of the patriarchy poisoned apple. Like programming activated in me. It wasn't my husband. It was completely PSD, where I started abdicating all financial decisions and everything. Like I wouldn't even look at accounts. I wouldn't touch money. I started my private practice. I was so scared of money and that I wouldn't have money. I didn't look at my statements for 4 months. I was just like, just going, going, going. And somehow, although I was bringing in a lot of money, the money was also going out. It's like my bills magically matched my income every month. And I was at zero, consistently at zero. And I didn't even see that because, you know, I was married and all, he was making money too. We were okay until there came a time of getting separated. And I realized that I have no money. And that's when this rage came up. And with that rage, what came up was this realization that in my subconscious, that story was alive and well, that a man is supposed to provide for me. Now, mind you, I would have never, ever, had you asked me if I believed that, I would have laughed in your face. Come on, a man is supposed to, I've been working since I was 17, okay? I know some of you might have been working before that. It's not like a big deal, but I've always been self-reliant. So I didn't believe that. But in my subconscious, in what came up for me when I was confronted with that, this story was alive and well. And it was showing up in the reality I was creating of the bank account at zero. And it was showing up in my rage and in my, well, he's supposed to now give me money because it's, but no, but the medicine was wake up in prison. What happened to your relationship with money? What happened? You were so good with money. What happened then? And what I discovered was that at every stage of a woman's life, through PSD, this programming gets activated. When we hit puberty, there's a set of programming that gets activated. When we get into relationships, We have sex for the first time. We partner up for the first time. We become a mother. We all these milestones that like create this invisible in the prison and reinforce the walls. I wanted to put that out there and let that ripple out. Maybe it will touch some of your stories. And it will help. I hope it helps as we work with what we're going to work with today. I know a lot of you feeling right now, maybe you're feeling right now, I really want to be free. I know you're feeling it right now. But then the prison guards jump in and they go, but now it's not a good time. Right? That's my favorite. I've actually heard it from somebody on a discovery call, like after saying all the reasons why she needs to be free, she must be free. But now is not a good time. Not a good time for my family, homeschooling the kids, not a good time. I'll have more money later. And I am so thankful that Brooke shared. I didn't know she was going to share that. I didn't actually know that story about more money later, more time later, and then now she has more time and money that she's ever had after she enrolled in the programs. Not while she was waiting to enroll, that was dwindling her money and time more, right? But that's PST. That's how it operates at the prison guards. So let's just use what I'm sharing with you to light up the prison guards, acknowledge and allow and appreciate it. You'll know what's true for you. You know what's right and authentic for you by checking in with your inner wisdom. Will be guiding you through all this process to clear the way as best we can in the limited time we have together this weekend. For now, let's keep on clearing, right? PG's patriarchy police, as you're hearing me share. Some PGs may be coming up and jumping in and telling you the story of how, oh, it costs a lot of money. And you know what else costs a lot of money? Prison guards. Just like our government is investing more into the military defense complex and prisons than it's investing into education and healthcare. Yeah? Feel the chills? Our internal prison and internal government that's in the subconscious is set up the same way. Everything is invested in maintaining the complex, right, of the invisible in the prison. So the prison guards get most of our time and energy and consequently money through all these stories about how you're not good enough, all the money you're leaving on the table and not making right now. The thrivers in our programs, on a regular basis, we hear from them that they've multiplied their income by 3x, 4x, 5x. And you can check out those jailbreak stories for inspiration. There is a link in your virtual goodie bag. It's magic. And this can be you. The door of opportunity for this transformation, healing our way from survival to thriving, breaking out of the PSD prison is actually open right now. Like, I kid you not, it's actually open. Like when I was 22, I landed in New York City, was standing there, no money, no connections, no friend. And I had that feeling, oh, the door is fucking open, step through it. And I did, and it worked out. It was irrational. It didn't make any sense. I called my parents, guess what? I'm staying in New York. They're in Russia. They're still in Russia. Like, oh my goodness. Didn't see that coming, right? So maybe the future you is up to things you don't see coming right now. Unless you're staying invisible in the prison, then it's pretty predictable. Like the prison is going to be there on Monday. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. What we're doing now, we're making the invisible visible. And and we begin, which is a huge outcome. It's huge liberation in and of itself, because then you can let yourself off the hook of thinking something's wrong with me, I'm broken. We're already saving you a lot of money, because you're not, I hope you're not going to be enrolling in things that promise to, I don't know, fix you, like another thing that I need to decorate my my prison cell with, another certification, another this or that. And I hope that you can feel, you can like catch a glimpse into the richness, the true wealth that is available to you because of your genius, because of who you are, because everything you've inherited from your ancestors, not only trauma, their genius, their ingenuity, their hard work, their love, their passion. We'll be working more this weekend to help unlock all that and reclaim all that that is owed to us and our lineages. I get chills when I think about it. Right now, the door of opportunity is open because we're keeping it ajar collectively. And we're keeping the prison guards and PP, patriarchy police, at bay also collectively. And when we finish this experience, they will rush in, they will double down. And I'm not just saying it, oh, like boogeyman. It's just the way it is. Because the prison security system is very intelligent. Remember, it evolved to keep us to keep us alive. Of course it works well, and thank goodness it works well. And it's getting in the way of you living your full life. So the entire world reinforces the invisible in the prison, PSD. So not only is it going to be there on Monday, the entire world will be reinforcing, undoing what we've been doing here together, and then it will become a distant memory. And what we need to heal to actually shift from survival to thriving and make it our new normal. We need a community. We need tools. And women who've been sharing, what Carrie shared, what Brooke shared, what Kara shared, they've been in this community. And that's what we hear from women. That is the most amazing experience, because not only because it's a 4-minute mile, right? One goes high, we all go high. We have mirror neurons in us. When one woman experiences her deeper expression, our mirror neurons go, oh, and she is okay, and I get to do that too. And it's just easier. There is this myth of the strong woman that's also a prison guard, and that also evolved for us to survive. And absolutely big respect to the strong woman. You're a strong woman, your mother was a strong woman, your grandmother was a strong, we come from a long lineage of strong women. And the unfortunate fact is that it's a tool of oppression, perpetrating that myth that a strong woman is the one who figures it out alone. She goes it alone. You are brilliant. You are brilliant. If you could have figured it out, you would have figured it out. And the truth is, we can't think our way out of the prison. We can't break out on our own. I have the luxury of working with Jeffrey every day. His full-time job is supporting my continuing jailbreak, my continuing expansion. And in the spare time, he is also guiding students in the Thriving Circle one-on-one, and in the Thriving Solution, we are co-creating the materials, etc. I wouldn't be able to do it. And also my team, hey Penny, you're amazing, keeping me honest, reflecting to me, and our students reflecting to me, to us, what they're seeing, what the next edge is. That's how we grow. That's how we see the invisible. We can't see it in ourselves. Even if you're so skilled, you may be a heart surgeon, but it's not, those skills are not helpful to you when it's your own heart. You need somebody else. And so patriarchy knows that the myth of the strong woman means you're not going to go far alone. That means you're no threat to the patriarchy. Just beginning to pop the bubbles of those prison cards, with a lot of gratitude for keeping us safe and our ancestors safe for many years. So healpsd.com is where I welcome you. And if, yeah, the prison guards are saying, I have some notes on what I've heard you say. So I'm like, okay, the prison guards are saying it's not a good time. And if the opportunity is open, it's open for a reason. Just like consider like the conventional reality, the survival place versus the thriving place. What if reality is magic? What if it's open and you feel the desire? It's yours. What if you get to have it? What if? We'll share with you more on Sunday about that shift from survival to thriving realities, how exactly it works, how we facilitate it.